What's up, Titan fans? How are we doing? Welcome to another episode from the What's Up, Titans Fans pod, where we're going to go over a mock draft that's online from Tankathon. They update it every week depending on where the teams fall currently in the season in their draft order. So we'll get to see who the Tennessee Titans are predicted to get this season, along with some other picks. We're going to go a deep dive into like the top 10, hit some few highlight players for each team, or really just players, like for quarterbacks, some quarterbacks we want to see, maybe some runner backs, wide receivers. I don't want to do a deep dive into every player, but we're going to do the first two rounds, maybe skim in the third one a little bit just to see how things are. But before I get started, and while I'm waiting on people to join the channel, go ahead, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. But just remember real quick, I'm going to drop the plug. If you're not following me on YouTube, TikTok, and X, make sure to follow me on all three platforms. I put out videos all throughout the week. I'm talking Monday through Friday. I do pregame videos, post-game videos, and anything Tennessee Titans related. So just make sure you subscribe and like, and that way you get all the content towards you. But look, let's go ahead and dive into things. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Here's the updated 2025 NFL draft order. As you see, the Tennessee Titans are sitting at pick number 6, but obviously number 1 right here, we got the Las Vegas Raiders, the Giants, then the Patriots, Carolina, Jacksonville, who's currently at 5, right? Division rival, Titans, Jets, Cleveland, Bears, then New Orleans. That rounds out the top 10. And most of these teams are probably going to stay here in the top 10, for the rest of the season. We're going into week 15 this week, right? Monday Night Football just ended. So we're heading into week 15. We only got a few games left on the season. Season's basically over. Yeah, well, it is for us, right? We got eliminated last week with this loss to the Jags. So our season's over. That's why we're already going into the off-season stuff, brother. We're talking about the NFL draft already, and it's only week 15. But let's go ahead and see what they got going for the mock draft. So we're looking right off the bat. Look, if anybody's watching and you are a Raiders fan, it's showing them getting Shedeur Sanders. Let me know how you feel about getting Shedeur Sanders if you are a Raiders fan or if you're just a fan in football in general. How you feel about Shedeur, baby. This man's 6'2", 215. Look, he's got almost 4,000 passing yards, 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I know this man wasn't even up there for Heisman, right? He's like, what is going on? His name wasn't even on the list in the top 5. But yeah, 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And then if we look where he's going, the Raiders and his weapons he's going to have around him, we can see who he's going to have at receiver. If this thing wants to load up real quick, let me check on their stats. Let's see who the leading receivers are and stuff, who he's going to have for a weapon. If you look at receiving, obviously you got Brock Bowers, the big man out of Georgia, right? That's the guy that I wanted us to get in last season's draft. That's who Shedeur Sanders, if he goes number 1 and the Raiders stay number 1 overall, he'll be going to the Raiders with Brock Bowers, who has 87 receptions on 118 targets, almost 1,000 yards. Other than that, things start dropping off pretty quick for the Raiders, right? They got Jacoby Myers. He's decent. He got 66 receptions, 743 yards, and Trey Tucker. Then Madison, a runner back, and obviously they got rid of Devontae Adams, so it starts to dip. And they've had their quarterback issues. I mean, they came into the season with Gardner Minshew. I mean, trust me, I loved Mustache Mania when it was happening back in Tampa, but all that's gone, right? I mean, and also when it was in Jacksonville, right? Mustache Mania. Then Aiden O'Connell, Desmond Ridder. No one believed in him even when he was a Falcon. They kicked him out. He's now over here. Hasn't really done much for the Raiders. But yes, if things go the way that they're showing in Tankathon, if the draft was happening today, and this is the draft order, they're showing Shedeur Sanders to the Raiders. After that, we're going back-to-back quarterback chat, and it's Cam Ward out of Miami. He's got over 4,000 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I mean, that's a good ratio right there. 6'2", 223. We're going to do a deep dive into these first 10. So we're talking about the Giants. Let me pull them up real quick. See the weapons he's going to be working with, right? Because I accidentally clicked on the Cowboys. Don't want to do that. But we got to see what he's going to be working with over there, because currently the Giants only have 2 wins on the season. Horrible team. They got rid of Daniel Jones. You see, still the passing leader. They've been flipping through these other QBs. Drew Lock played, last week. Tommy DeVito played as soon as Daniel Jones left the organization. So they've been up and down. But overall, their quarterbacks on the year, grand total between all of them, 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions for the Giants. So they definitely need a quarterback, right? And if you look at their weapons, they do have at least Malik Neighbors, which is a good rookie they drafted out of LSU last year. He has 80 receptions, 819 yards. But then after that, you start, diving off the deep end, right? Even though I do like Jalen Hyatt right here out of Tennessee, baby. We love them Vols, right? Hey, they're playoff bound. They're in it this year. We'll see how far they get. Now let's go ahead and look at the next one. Travis Hunter. He's a potential Heisman winner right here, right? He's in the 5 awardee members, up there for potential. He plays cornerback, wide receiver. It's like, what's he going to play in the NFL? Who knows, right? But right here, they got his cornerback stats up. 32 tackles, 11 pass deflects, 4 interceptions. Like, they don't throw it his way much at all, right? But when they do, he makes plays. So Travis Hunter for the Patriots. And I accidentally closed my tab. But let's go ahead, pull up the Patriots real quick, see what he would have working with over there with that team. So we pull him up real quick. We look at the stats. If he's having one of these guys as his quarterback, it should be Drake May, right? Drake May is the quarterback currently. He has 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, sacked 25 times. He has over 1,500 yards passing because he didn't play, the complete season, right? He split reps. He's only played 9 games. But if he has Drake May next year and he's playing a wide receiver, he has potential, because he does have a good tight end on his side, right? He has Hunter Henry right here. 58 receptions, 610 yards. Then, it kind of drops down, So we'll see. But if he's playing defense, how are they doing on defense? They have 6 interceptions total on the year on defense. Yeah, that's a little tough right there for them Patriots. Next, Mason Graham, defensive lineman, talking about going to the Panthers from Michigan. 45 tackles, 3.5 sacks for the Panthers. Let's see how their D-line's doing. See if this is an accurate stat right here for these Panthers. They're one of the, horrible teams in the NFL. They got 3 wins. They do have a little up and up. They got promise. You see Bryce Young, he's coming around finally. He's finally showing his potential that he has, even though he has 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the year. But let's look at this defense real quick. How many sacks they got? Yeah, right now their leading sack person is Ashawn Robinson, only 4.5. Yeah, that's a little tough. And then for tackles for loss, yeah, same guy. And on the season, they have 25 sacks. But yeah, that's where they're showing Mason Graham will be going for the Panthers. Then we're talking about our division rivals right here, the Jaguars. They're talking about them getting a cornerback, Will Johnson. This is who'll be going against Will Levis, right? Will Johnson. You think he could take on the Mayo Man out of Michigan? Look at this. 14 tackles, 3 pass deflects, 2 interceptions. His stats aren't big. I don't know much about Will Johnson, but I know his stats aren't a lot, but it could be because he's shut down. Maybe they don't throw it his way. But let's see what the Panthers got on their defense, right? Who he's going to be working with real quick. Bam, get it loaded up in these stats. Now for the Jaguars, I think I might have said Panthers. For the Jaguars, their leading interceptor on the year for them. Ooh, they only got a whole bunch of 1s, right? They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys all with 1. So they don't have one guy on their defense standing out making these interceptions for the Jags. I thought they would have had more than that, but they only have 5. We might actually have more than them. I thought our turnover ratio was horrible. I mean, I know we put up a plethora of turnovers with our offense, but our defense, I didn't think we committed that many. I know lately we've been getting a little bit more. Last week we had 2. Wouzier came back, got an interception, like his first game back, which was good to see. But yeah, only 5 interceptions. That's wild right there. All right, let's move on. Next, for the Tennessee Titans, it's a weapon for Will the Mayo Man Levis. How you say this name? Titaroa, I don't know how to pronounce that, McMillan. out of Arizona, 84 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 8 tutties. Wow, 6'5", he's a big guy, 6'5", 210, because we ain't keeping Treylon Burks after this year, right? Treylon Burks, I mean, if we do, that would be wild. He said Tete Roa. Is that how you pronounce it? Tete Roa. Tete Roa. All right, Tete Roa. I appreciate that name. Hey, I got a Southern education, man. Those names get like that, I can't pronounce them. It gets a little tough right there. But let's see. Let me go ahead, pull up our stats. So if we get this wide receiver, I mean, you probably know some stuff right here about the Tennessee Titans. They're going to have Will the Mayo Man Levis throw into him. He's only a couple years with us. These rookies, they come in, they get that 4-year deal. So we'll still have Levis for a couple years unless we end up drafting a rookie or we get a veteran quarterback either to back him up or to take a spot, right? Everybody's talking about Aaron Rodgers after he leaves the Jets. We could pick him up because he may not go back to the Jets. And then there's also Sam Darnold. I heard talk about Sam Darnold, because he's having a good year and they have J.J. McCarthy. But, yeah, Will Levis on the year, 12 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 1,800 yards. And then if we did get him as a wide receiver, he'd have Calvin Ridley with him, NWI. Tyler Boyd, I think he's only on a 1-year deal, though, so he may not be here next year. Chiggs up and down, but he should still be here. I think he still has 1 more year left on his contract after this. So we'll see how that would work out with him. Like I said, we're going to do these top 10, and then we're just going to skip around to some big-name players after this for these first 3 rounds, especially quarterbacks. It's good to see where these quarterbacks are going to fall. But Abdul Carter, edge rusher to the Jets at number 7 out of Penn State, 60 tackles, 10 sacks, 3 pass deflects, and 2 forced fumbles. So he looks like he's going to wreak some havoc over there for New York. But let's go ahead and see how New York's looking overall with their defense. See if they got a pass rush, because, I mean, they must not if they're trying to pick a pass rusher at 7 overall. I mean, 10 sacks, he's a double-digit sack artist, right? So let's see how they're doing with their sacks on defense. Oh, yeah, they have one guy right here, Will McDonald. He's double digits currently for the Jets at 10 sacks. Then they got Williams at 6. And overall in the season, they got 37. That's a decent amount of sacks right there. So, yeah, they're looking to be stout on defense, right? Next, we got an offensive tackle, Will Campbell. They don't show any stats for tackles, unfortunately. And then they got one right after him. But we'll see how many times they get sacked. How many sacks have the Browns allowed this year? Let's go ahead and take a look to see why they're going offensive tackle. I know we allow a lot of sacks, but I'm tired of getting offensive linemen. I'm glad it's showing. We're getting receiver, getting some playmakers. The last thing I want is another offensive lineman in the first round. But, yeah, they got 53 sacks on the year for the Browns. Yeah, that's pretty tough. How many do we have, just out of curiosity, for the Tennessee Titans? Because I know we have crazy amount of sacks. 45. Wow, they're outdoing us. Yeah, they definitely need to get Will Campbell, out of LSU. Then the Bears, let's see how they're doing with sacks, right? See if they have more than 45. They have more than us. Or what for the Browns? The Bears. Oh, my gosh. It just wants to keep clicking off. All right, if you look at the Bears, Caleb Williams, all that, I know they're trying to protect a rookie, but, yeah, 56 total sacks for the Bears. That is a ton. Yeah, they definitely got to go offensive lineman as well with Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas, 6'4", 324. Now let's just skim down through real quick. Look at some big name players. I know Malik Starks is kind of a big name safety out of Georgia. Oh, Genty right here. That's a big one right here. Genty to the Bengals. Let's look at that real quick because he's a Heisman runner-up or Heisman candidate. I don't want to say runner-up. There's no guarantee Travis Hunter's gonna get it, right? It's between them two really. It's between Genty and Travis Hunter for Heisman. But anyway, let me get to the Bengals real quick. Let's see how their running backs are doing. Their running backs are doing. So overall, 1,100 total yards. I mean, they got Chase Brown, Zach Moss. Chase Brown seems to be their number one right here. And then 9 rushing touchdowns on the season for him. I think Genty would be a big upgrade for the Cincinnati Bengals. Then let's see. Then let's skip down to some of these real quick. See if there's any. Oh, James Pierce right here. Look, I got to stop at the Tennessee boys, right? These guys coming out of Vol Nation. James Pierce Jr., 35 tackles, 7.5 sacks, a pass deflect, and a forced fumble. Let's look at the Falcons real quick. See how they're doing. Hey, chat, if you want me to stop on a specific team, let me know. I will stop real quick. Oh, we got another comment real quick from Name. He said, fun fact, most sacks allowed in a season is the 86 Eagles with Cunningham, 104. Wow, that is a ton. I couldn't imagine. Yeah, I don't know how they survived, right? How Cunningham. I mean, I know he was a scrambling quarterback, so most times scramblers do get sacked more. But let's look at this defense real quick to see how James Pierce, edge rusher, is gonna do on their team. See who's their leading sack. Oh, wow. I did not expect it to be that low for the Falcons. The Falcons, their leading sacker only has 4. I'm gonna pronounce his first name, Arnold. I'm gonna go Arnold. Then they got Matthew Judon, 3.5. As a team, only 19. That is really low. That is really low, chat. 19 for the Falcons on sacks. Yeah, they definitely need a pass rusher. James Pierce would be a good pick for the Falcons. Yeah, they need that. Then let's scroll down and see if we got any other big name players we want to stop on real quick. Isaiah Bond. Yeah, that dude is fast right here. 33 receptions, 532 yards, 5 tutties out of Texas. Yeah, let's see real quick. What's the Steelers working with? Let's get them Steel boys. Who they got at receiver currently? Who's leading the Steelers in receptions, yards, all that? George Pickens. Okay, he would have George Pickens beside him. 55 receptions, 850 yards. Oh, then it drops off. Yeah. Pat Freemuth or whatever his name is. Yeah. Calvin Austin. Najee Haji is next. That's crazy. Oh, they got way down here Cordell Patterson. I'm surprised he's still in the league, to be honest. But yeah, they need a receiver. Isaiah Bond, fast guy out of Texas. I mean, we might see them eventually in the playoffs. The Vols, we might see them. I mean, who knows? I think the Vols got one of the hardest playoff schedules in college football, in my opinion. But it is what it is. It's the playoff committee, how they do it. Let's see what's going on next. All right, first round. I think I'm about done with this first round. Let's move on to the second round, see what the Titans got, and see any big names. Ooh, Jalen Milroe, Tennessee Titans. Chat, let me know what you feel about it. It's what they predicted last week. Jalen Milroe, nothing has changed since last week on this pick. They're dead set on Jalen Milroe out of Alabama being a Tennessee Titan. Let me know what you think. Look, I already prepared it just in case because they did it last week. Look, we take Levis off the board. We're going to go ahead and add Milroe, baby. Look at him up there. How you feel about Milroe coming into Tennessee, being the Tennessee Titan quarterback? He's 6'2", 220. We know this man can scramble all over the field. He has 2,652 pass yards, 15 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's the worrisome right there, right? That's looking like Levis. Barely more touchdowns than interceptions. 65% completion rate, QBR of 153. And we all know we need a quarterback. We need something to happen to help this team out. Yes, Jalen Milroe, he has the athletic ability. He can get outside the pocket. He can make plays. But is that the Titans offense? Is that the Brian Callahan style of offense? If Brian Callahan's going to be around next year. I mean, I don't want to get on this coaching carousel. I'd rather just keep Brian Callahan for another year. Let him ride it out. Hey, Name said, I'll pass on that. Give me an edge or tackle. While I don't want to see Levis next year, I'm not a fan of any of the quarterbacks this year. And then Mr. Leo made a little face. Yes, I'm not a fan of Jalen Milroe. I mean, you saw what happened when they played Oklahoma. They stopped him from scrambling, and then Jalen Milroe couldn't throw the ball, And some quarterbacks are like that. You take their legs away, they lose all ability on the field. So I'm not a fan of Jalen Milroe. I'm not really a fan of Cam Ward, and even Quinn Ewers. He's up and down, and he's injury prone. Those are the top 3 quarterbacks in this draft. Well, besides Shador Sanders, but he ain't going to make it to us. But those are the top 3 quarterbacks, after that, and I'm not a fan of any of them, really. Next year would be better, maybe Manning will be in if he comes out, but, it depends on if he comes out next year after 1 year of playing college. But I think he has 2 years of eligibility left. But that would be a tough sell for me if we got him. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try, right? It doesn't hurt to try, or you can just ride another year with Levis. Hopefully he shows something in these last few weeks. He's been up and down this season. And there's the first few games were disastrous for Will Levis, and then after that he did pick up a little bit. Mr. Leo, actually a question: How is soccer invented? I have no idea, brother. No idea. Adler is a way better option this year or next. Oh, Drew Adler, yep, out of Penn State. Yeah, we'll see. They're not showing them on this board for anything for this year, at least not yet. Then if we keep going down, see if there's any big name guys. Look, the Titans don't have a 3rd round pick, so I'm not super interested in a 3rd round, but I'm interested on any big name players that might come up. Let's see who we got, or especially quarterbacks. I don't see any other quarterbacks. Oh, Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State. That's a big name player right here to the Panthers. Let's check them out real quick. What was the Panthers' pass rush? Obviously, the Panthers are a trash team this year, but currently they're looking like they might have more upside than the Tennessee Titans, right? But they have Jack Sawyer going to the Panthers. Yeah, their top pass rusher is Robinson, only 4.5. With their 25 sacks on the year. Didn't they have a pass rusher earlier for them, for the Panthers? Who'd they give them earlier? Let me look real quick. Oh, it's a defensive lineman. Okay, so they're talking defensive lineman and then edge rusher for the Panthers. Yes, I thought we looked at them already, back to back. Then if we keep going, let's see who else they got. Oh, here's a quarterback, Quinn Ewers to Texas. How you feel for that being a fit? Quinn Ewers. Let's look at their quarterbacks and see how Geno Smith's looking right now for the Seattle Seahawks right here. See how he's going to fit in and his weapons he has at receiver. So currently, Geno Smith, 14 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Definitely not like last year where he had his breakout year, right? Geno Smith is definitely playing a little worse off. We got name real quick. Hey, soccer is based on a game more like rugby, just moving the ball from one side of the field to another. No goals. Kind of funny. American football was the opposite evolution of the game, hand versus foot. Yeah, it is kind of weird. We call it football, even though it's really handball, right? But yeah, 14 touchdowns, 12 interceptions for them. They need a quarterback. For their receivers, though, they do have. Dude, if Quinn Ewers goes to Seattle, he's going to have some weapons. Seattle would be a prime spot for a quarterback to be successful in the NFL, especially a rookie quarterback. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba. You got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant. They got boys all across the board. So if Quinn Ewers went there, that would be a dream spot for him, brother. I'm telling you, it doesn't get much better than that, and I'm surprised Geno Smith is having the year he's having with those type of weapons. But Quinn Ewers, man, that would be crazy for him to have. Look, he has 2,600 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I mean, we get to see him further in the playoffs to see how he's going to play, get a little bit more film on him. And maybe his draft stock goes up. If they go all the way, win the Natty, then he might not even be available at this point. But if he is here, that's a dream spot for Quinn Ewers. Then keep going down. Oh, next quarterback, 59. We're talking about them Steel Boys. We spoke about them earlier. Let's see what they got for them Steel Boys real quick. We got others argue soccer originated in ancient Greece, Rome. There is evidence that the indigenous people in Central America played a similar game called something. In England, soccer was played. Okay. I mean, I'm not too much into soccer, so I don't really know too much about soccer. Hey, I prefer that American football. That's what I'm talking about. But then we got, if, Nesmeyer comes to the Steelers, who's to say they're really going to draft a quarterback? I mean, they got Russell Wilson, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Justin Fields, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, he was looking fine when he came in. They just decided to bench him for Russell Wilson because they paid Russell Wilson more money. Then let's see for weapons. Yeah, George Pickens. Yeah, we already went over this stuff. Yeah, because they were showing them getting a receiver earlier in the draft. And let's see, is there anybody else real quick? Oh, look, this is where our pick was going to right here, 68. It's the Chiefs got it, came from us, showing them getting a defensive lineman with that pick. Oh, here's Drew Aller, who you were talking about before name. Drew Aller, Penn State, the Browns. And so far, Drew Aller has, he's 6'5", 241, 2,800 yards, 21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, almost a 70% completion rate, which is wild. Let's see the weapons he would have over there in Cleveland. Because, they got Jameis Winston right now. Everybody loves Jameis, one of the best characters in the NFL. Deshaun Watson. A lot of people don't like Deshaun Watson, character issues and his play, right? But so far on the season, total 18 touchdowns, 14 interceptions as a team. And then for weapons, I mean, they do have some pretty good weapons. I mean, Jerry Jeudy, hey, that's pretty good, brother. 59 targets, 944 yards. Elijah Moore, I like him. He's very fast. Another guy, 53 receptions, 481 yards. David Njoku, another one. Cedric Tillman out of Tennessee, brother. Amari Cooper, even though I think they got rid of him. But then, they're just strong across the board at wide receiver, so they should be good. If it ends up being that's where Drew Aller goes, he could ball out as well. So that's why sometimes some of these players who get drafted a little in like the later rounds, they tend to have a better career than some of these guys that get drafted immediately. I mean, you saw it with Jameis Winston at the start of his career. You saw it with Marcus Mariota. Sometimes you saw it with Bryce Young last year, right? You get drafted sometimes to these horrible teams. You don't have no weapons. You just tend to fall off. Hey, Name said, interesting stuff. First time I've seen any of your stuff. Hey, I appreciate it, Name. Look, go ahead, subscribe, like, do all that. I bring out content all throughout the week. I'm going to try to do these draft shows each and every week on Tuesday when they come out. Later on today, I'll be doing the ESPN Power Rankings, going over that, see where we fall in, all 32 teams in the organization. But it's nice to see what the Tankathon, they updated their stuff earlier this season, so we get to see where they have players predicted to go. Let's see if there's any other quarterbacks real quick or anything else happening. We're in the middle of the third round. I think they only have the first 3 rounds anyway. Nope. Here's the last quarterback on the board right here. Carson Beck, Miami, 6'4", 220. 3,400 yards, 28 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I know Carson Beck has a lot of haters. He does. Look, I live in Georgia, right? I live in Georgia, and I think he has a lot of haters. A lot of people like that Stanton guy that came in last week. They thought he did pretty good for him. But, I mean, Carson Beck, he's fine. I don't think he's an outstanding QB. He's okay. He's one of those okay guys. He's not bad. He's not good. He's just okay, at least so far what I think. I mean, they have Tua. Tua is their franchise guy. If he goes there, he's going to be behind Tua, right? Tua, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. The only thing with Tua, he has his injury history, right? He had it in college. He had the hip issue where he, shattered his hip. He's had the concussion issues in the NFL. He's just injury prone. He's an injury prone guy, and some of that stuff can't help. But when Tua is in, Tua is the best thing for this Dolphins organization, right? You look at his stats, 73%. That's crazy high numbers for NFL. I mean, you look all behind him. Huntley came in 59. Thompson came in 63. Boyle came in 57%. I mean, the same thing with this. Look, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Yeah, he's been sacked 18 times, but he got over almost 2,500 yards passing already. He's still got a few games left to play. So, Beck could come in, could sit behind him, have opportunity to play, if he goes down. Everybody wants him to be healthy. Obviously, he needs to wear the Guardian cap. He refuses to wear it, but he's one player that should be mandated to wear it with all these crazy concussions where his body's seizing up. He definitely needs the Guardian cap. Hey, Name said, yeah, Tua is a ticking time bomb. I was shocked when he didn't come back wearing the Yes, that's what I was just saying, the mushroom cap. Yeah, he needs the Guardian cap. Like he said, and you beat me to it. Yeah, look, we're on the same page, brother. He definitely needs it. It should be mandated. And I don't know why he's being stubborn. That's just one of those things. It's a safety thing. I mean, because some of these hits aren't hard. His head barely hits the ground when he gets sacked, and he seizes up. So, but yeah. So if Carson Beck goes there, he has a high opportunity. A high chance of probability of playing because Tua is so injury prone. But yeah, that does it for today's show. We went through the first 3 rounds, deep dive in the first 10 picks. We stopped on the Titans. We stopped on big name players, especially QBs, because we want to do a deep dive into that, see where they have them projected to go. And then, of course, the big one is Jalen Milroe. Back-to-back weeks they had Milroe going to the Tennessee Titans. That is wild. They're strong on this right now. We'll see after next week, and depending on how we play, if we win or lose. But right now, Jalen Milroe, back-to-back week, Tennessee Titans. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tighten up, baby.